I brewed some potions, the YouTube algorithm liked it, and the next thing I knew, I was unboxing a coveted YouTube Silver Award. Welcome to Higgypop, a YouTube channel where you'll find weekly magic spells and potion videos. Hi there, I'm Steve, and you may not know, but in school I was voted the person most likely to make $1 million in my year. And when I asked around, people hadn't voted for me because they thought I was going to invent the next big thing or start some huge business. It was because apparently they thought I was going to be a kids' TV presenter. And for a time I sort of was, well, on YouTube anyway. But did I make my millions? No, I made multi-millions. Multi-millions of views, that is. This is the story of how I went from uploading random nonsense to brewing ridiculous potions and eventually getting that shiny piece of metal through the post.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Higgypop, and every Friday I post a brand new magical spells and potions video.
Before I started brewing potions, I was using my YouTube channel to upload random videos. Since 2006, I put loads of my weird brand of comedy up there, from spoof travel guides.
The locals are really friendly here too. You can make friends just like I have. This is Matt, he's my new friend and he's really nice.
To actual parody songs.
Then along came Brie and the Hill 88. Hours watching YouTube, staying up late, that's it. I was hooked right there.
Yeah, I don't do singing anymore. In 2014, I decided to properly focus on making videos and take it seriously. Well, as seriously as you can when you're about to pour slimy green shampoo into a plastic toy cauldron. I started making weekly videos because consistency is key. If you ever want to make it on YouTube, the one big thing you can do to help your channel grow is to upload consistently. So I started uploading every Thursday evening. So every Friday morning there was a video waiting there for my subscribers to watch. At this point, I was still making a mix of random videos like my badly drawn and badly animated cartoon series, Lodric and Savragov.
Lodric was on parole while on trial for murder, so him and Savragov went for a relaxational walk in the countryside. While they were walking, they passed many interesting visions, including a duck, a tree, and most importantly, a goat.
And I was still doing the odd spoof travel guide too.
Hi, I'm Steve, and today I'm exploring Avebury.
But now I was starting to make a little bit of money from my channel. Not much, but enough to buy the odd piece of royalty-free music here and there. But as the views started to climb, so did my ad revenue, and I was able to reinvest that back into the channel. And that's what gave rise to my first potion video.
One of the easiest potions to make at home is a love potion. Other than a Harpenden jar, you don't need any special equipment.
The love potion video was inspired by Peter Serafinowicz and Robert Popper's BBC comedy series Look Around You. The format really appealed to me because it was just a scientist's hands close up conducting experiments, and I don't really like being in front of the camera, so that suited me. The setup was basic. I just had a piece of purple card propped up against the wall. I didn't have a cauldron or any props at this point, so I just mixed a disgusting looking potion in a little glass dish that I called a Harpenden jar. Ingredients in that first video included an empty condensed milk tin full of Tic Tacs, which became Bellican beans. I used green jelly and ripped up cheese slices as fresh Allicin balm, and squirty cream squeezed out of a worm I made from a chili pepper. Within a week, the video racked up 1,000 views, which was unheard of for a video on my channel at that time. And a lot of the comments were saying, please could you make a mermaid video next? So I did.
Making a working mermaid potion can be very difficult, but it is possible.
At this point, the channel was still fairly small and the budget was modest, so there was no money for an elaborate costume or special effects. So the payoff for this video was basically just a superimposed fish on my bed. This didn't really matter though. The reason people were watching was for the potion brewing itself, and this time it featured crushed seashells, a kelpine heart, and sliced Kumiri or bandit. The mermaid potion absolutely took off. Over time, that one video alone racked up almost 4 million views. It was at this point I realised I'd stumbled across this quite comfortable little niche on YouTube, and more through demand than desire, I decided to capitalise on it and start uploading weekly potion videos.
Once your party is in full swing, why not use your spirit as a coat stand, a drink server, or a sex receptacle?
It's fair to say some of my videos haven't aged too well and might come across as a little bit inappropriate now. At first, I didn't really get a feel for who was watching. In my head, I was just making surreal comedy videos that happened to be about magic potions, but I didn't realise they were actually appealing to kids. Before I realised that, I'd made a few potions that I probably shouldn't have, such as a penis enlargement potion.
Whether it's you or your partner who's lacking in the trouser region, this potion will help you scale things up in no time at all.
And a video about recharging your fanny magnet.
Get started by simply removing your magnet.
Once it became obvious that the channel was mostly attracting children, those videos were quickly deleted. I soon found a nice balance where the magic was played completely straight and deadpan, but the language and little visual gags were there, so any adults that happened to be in the room would also enjoy it. I leaned into stupid ingredient names.
Next, cut a dundruck in half and drop it into your cauldron.
Annoying phrases like stir well your mixture well.
Stir well your mixture well. Stir well your mixture well. Stir well the potion well and bring it to the boil.
And regular mispronunciations like ingrediments.
Then you'll need to add the following ingredients. It can be brewed using a few simple ingredients.
Jokes that sell right over the heads of younger viewers. The audience was always really important though. Their suggestions in the comments inspired future videos. It became this sort of symbiotic, viewer-suggested content creation strategy that just worked really well.
Use runestones to anchor north, south, east, and left. Place your sacred items into the circle. This can be any items which have significance to you or your life.
As I started to make a little bit more money through YouTube's ad share revenue, I was able to start investing in the channel a little bit more. In the early days, my potion videos were shot against that same blue bit of card propped up against a wall.
Have you ever wanted to fly like Tinkerbell or a penguin? Well, here's a potion to make your flying fantasies become as true as lemonade.
I upgraded to a small purpose-built folding table with a rigid foam board backdrop.
First, take your cauldron and place it on some white foam board with a piece of A1 blue card stuck to it.
Eventually, I built a complete folding wooden set with a wood effect floor and a stone block pattern wallpaper. My main prop, the cauldron, also evolved from a cheap-looking plastic toy to a heavy cast-iron cauldron. I actually gave the original plastic one away in a competition I ran on the channel when I hit 50,000 subscribers. I also got a little Bunsen burner.
You'll need a Krypton burner, a tainted steel tripod.
I couldn't actually hook it up to any gas, so it had a superimposed flame, but I used this prop quite regularly. I didn't always use the cauldron though. One of my favourite gags was in one video where I had a little chalice which I filled up with about 5 litres of liquid. I just kept pouring more and more liquid into this tiny little cup.
Pour the whole bottle lovingly into your chalice.
Although I genuinely wanted the videos to be entertaining for everyone, there was plenty of opportunity for me to work in little jokes, kind of for my own amusement.
Then place the shoes in the freezer and wait for 24 hours. Once your shoes are ready, slip them on and enjoy your new super speed.
Voice activated. Really? Okay, fire alarm system. Sound alarm.
I am sorry, I didn't catch that.
Followed by one whole green carrot. A garret. First, take your Bunsen burner. Carefully light it with a match. Then pour some water over it and throw it away. Then, when you're ready and not feeling too tired, drop in a clave capsule. You'll see the clave start to manipulate through the water. A violent process known as anti-decrystallification will take place in the glass. This is perfectly normal, although you should stand well back in case of recrystallification, which can result in an explosion. Then add about a litre of fizzy owl's blood. Of course, this isn't real blood, it's just an owl's blood flavoured soft drink enjoyed within the magic community.
In fact, one video was made completely for my own amusement. It was a guide to brewing a Clentifini Barcezus potion, which is something I never actually explained. The video broke from my normal format. Instead of my voiceover guiding viewers through the brewing process, the voiceover and familiar background music became distorted and overlaid with the eerie sound of a child crying. The usual potion ingredient captions at the bottom of the screen were corrupt, and the whole video was full of weird and unsettling visuals. I enjoyed that one. Some YouTubers are lucky. They can just stand in front of generic IKEA furniture and talk. Anyway, my videos needed something a little bit more than that. I needed to be able to buy props and special effects. And luckily, the money I got from YouTube did enable me to naturally buy more and more as the channel grew, put more back into videos and make things better. Dragon stomach, Merlap spikes, Bellamy balm, tawny moth weed, and elephant's pus. Coming up with the nonsensical names for the potion ingredients was easy enough, but finding actual real-world things to represent them was a bit of a challenge. Some were just everyday things like cat food, a microwave lasagna, an egg, or squirty cream. Over the years, I used everything from a whole Christmas dinner and painted quail eggs to hollowed-out breadsticks filled with milk and green food colouring. Often it was just a case of looking for unusual finds in supermarkets that would look strange on camera, like this black carrot.
But black carrots actually help you think real hard.
There were also things like a rabbit's foot, boomerang bark or plutonium, which obviously had to be fabricated as I couldn't get my hands on those real items. At my peak though, I wasn't just buying props and special effects, I was hiring people.
From now on, whenever your feet touch water, you'll become a mermaid.
When it came to remaking my mermaid potion, I found a girl called Melissa on a casting site and, rather surreally, I paid for her to come over and get naked in my bath. And if you thought trapping a girl in my bath was weird, over time it just got weirder and weirder. There was a time I made a potion to let me lay eggs.
Human eggs can be eaten just like chicken eggs, but of course they taste like hammers, and if eaten raw can result in loss of bladder control.
The time I grew a giant peach. And the potion to make your fingers grow longer. One time I even grew a tropical rainforest in my living room.
About a month later, you should find a fully grown rainforest condensed into the room, complete with a waterfall behind the television which feeds a small stream that meanders past the coffee table. It's perfect for kayaking.
As well as unusual ingredients, another thing I always strive for was being topical, and I made videos to tie in with big movie releases at the time like Jurassic World.
Remember to ask a parent's permission before magicking up a dinosaur, as even an infant dinosaur can be quite large.
Star Wars The Force Awakens.
The best way to think of the Force is like duct tape. It has a dark side and a light side, and it binds the galaxy together. You'll need to choose whether you want to join the light side like Luke Skywalker, or the dark side like Emperor Clementine.
And Ghostbusters Answer the Call.
When you think of ghosts, you probably think of dead people, like the singing ghost of Sir Molly Beswick. But did you know you can actually become a ghost as a living person?
I jumped on trends like Minecraft, Slenderman, Pokemon. Plus there was the obvious seasonal stuff like Christmas, Halloween, Easter, Valentine's Day, and St. Patrick's Day. You name it, if it was vaguely relevant, I brewed a potion themed around it. Making YouTube videos at home alone is kind of a surreal thing because even when you're getting tens of millions of views, it's kind of hard to really get a grasp of how many people you're actually reaching. I don't think I felt like a proper YouTuber until I was invited to speak at Summer in the City. At the time, this was the UK's biggest YouTube convention, a huge annual gathering of creators and fans at the Excel Centre in London. I was on a panel called Quirky as a New Mainstream, as evidenced by this audience member's sketch of me and the other panellists. Then came another YouTube milestone, my first product placement deal from a company that made nice wooden watches. This was a bit of a challenge because I couldn't just hold up the product like other YouTubers do, so I had to come up with a concept where I featured the watch in a video. So I made a potion to speed up time. The watch appeared throughout the video on my wrist in close-up shots as I poured ingredients into the cauldron. When the potion took effect, I cut to a tight shot of the watch and used visual effects to spin the hands forward rapidly. The brand loved it and said it was the most creative integration they'd seen as part of that campaign. And for the record, I've still got the watch and I wear it regularly. And whenever I do, I always get loads of compliments because of its nice, unique wooden design. So that worked out well, but some things didn't go according to plan.
No!
That was my expensive lighting falling over and smashing while I was setting up a green screen to shoot a Christmas video. For a while, things were fairly stable. I was posting new content weekly, I'd built up around 80,000 subscribers, and I'd amassed almost 20 million views. But then, in 2017, adpocalypse came. It was triggered by big brands pulling advertising budget from YouTube, so YouTube started to make a loss, and that loss was passed on to content creators as well. So even though I was getting the same amount of views each month, my budget per video massively dropped, which meant I could no longer afford to hire attractive young ladies to come and sit naked in my bath. Just as things started to stabilise after Adpocalypse, YouTube changed the way it handled videos made for kids. This came in response to the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, which prevented YouTube from targeting ads at kids. They also disabled a few other things on videos that made those videos more valuable to advertisers. My revenue dropped by about 80%, which pretty much made my channel inoperable. I just didn't have the budget to invest in new videos and new content. But at this point, I was approaching that magical 100,000 subscriber milestone, and I wanted to keep going until I hit that goal. I think I made one of my best videos during this time, a Halloween special in 2019. It had a pretty creepy ending that shifted things into darker, stranger territory. There was an on-screen message at the end of the video which read, "The current whereabouts of Higgypop is unknown." Looking back, I sort of wish I'd ended the channel here now, because that video was a nice neat ending, and actually I'd already hit 100,000 subscribers. I was just waiting for the award to arrive, so I just kept going. By this point, I'd made about 130 different potion videos, so thinking of new ideas was just getting harder and harder, which is why at one point I made an unlimited shoes potion.
They will appear around your home in exactly your size.
A few months later, my silver play button finally arrived. This is still one of my proudest achievements and one of my most treasured possessions. Once my award was unboxed and safely in my possession, I didn't really have a need to keep making videos. The ad revenue had dropped so much that I couldn't really fund future videos, and my ideas list was pretty much exhausted. So I decided to pack up my cauldron and retire. So I placed the cauldron on a shelf in my office where it's remained ever since. And the big wooden set, well, I packed it all away and folded it up and put it in the garage. And actually, that's almost 6 years ago now, and I haven't touched it or even looked at it since. Do you know what? Actually, come with me. Right, here it is. Light on. So, hidden behind a bit of polycarbonate, a bit of wood. This is the old set. Check for spiders. So this hasn't been opened in 6 years. Let's have a look. Oh, it's actually perfect. I expected the wallpaper to all be peeling and it to be a mess. But actually, that looks as good as new. Just zoom in like we're there. Back in the potion lab. So seeing the set again gave me an idea. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a YouTube success potion to make all your YouTubular dreams come true. First, set up your brewing station. You'll need a large Sanderson cauldron or mixing pan. Then wait until a double rainbow appears over Edinburgh. While the rainbow is visible, you can brew your potion. Start by adding 0.01.02 milliliters of water. I'm using arsenic. It looks the same, I'm sure it's fine. Next, you'll need some Argentinian prunes. One, 2, and then some high-fiber cereal. These 2 ingredients will help make you regular, something that's very important with YouTube when it comes to uploading. Next, add a whole rainbow snight. Fish helps with brain power and will aid creativity. Next, you'll need a Latvian avocado, but just the skin. These vegetable fruit things have a very thick skin of a similar thickness to the thick skin you'll need for reviewing YouTube comments. Then you'll need to add a precious metal of your choice, like gold, iron or crisps. I'm using this silver boatman spoon to help me get a silver play button. As always, and perhaps for the final time, stir well your mixture well. Then wait for the reaction to die down and replace the lid. Then you just need to wait for 6 years. Reach inside the cauldron, have a good feel around with all of your hand and 5 fingers, and you should find something browsing on your fingertips. Oh, hello Governor, it's my very own Silver YouTube Silver Play Button Award. It worked. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is the 4th video in my Stupid Projects and Other Time Wasting Ideas series. There's 3 more on this channel that you can watch if you want. One was about underground exploration, another was about a spoof search engine I made, and another was about a viral Christmas website. So go and check those out if you haven't seen them already. And make sure you subscribe and like and all the other things YouTubers tell you to do, because there'll be another video on the same kind of theme coming up soon, and I wouldn't want you to miss it. But anyway, thank you very much. See you soon. Goodbye.